Nigel Farage has tweeted, "The spat in the White House last night is regrettable and will make Putin feel like the winner. But it's not the end of the story, far from it. A peace deal is essential and Ukraine needs the right security guarantees." Now, do you regret, as the so-called party of Churchillians and Thatcher, your unwavering support of Donald Trump in light of what happened on Friday?
Clearly it was uncomfortable, the scenes on Friday. Nigel said it's regrettable. It was. Look, the reality is, everybody wants peace. Peace negotiations are always difficult, tense, involving difficult compromises to be made. And those negotiations are clearly best done behind closed doors. Most conflicts and wars end up in some form of negotiation, and that's where we are. But the key is, as Nigel has said, and I think everybody actually, including President Trump and President Zelensky, the only peace that works is an enduring, lasting peace with robust security guarantees. And amongst all the noise, actually, that should be the total focus. How do we get the robust guarantees? How do we make sure that Putin is deterred from ever trying this monstrosity ever again?
Okay.
And there's multiple things within that, including, that's not talked about enough, the $300 billion of Russian state assets held in Western central banks, which we should be using to help ensure those security guarantees. I've been saying this for some time now, along with people like Sir Bill Browder and others, and I would urge Western leaders to go for it on that.
We'll get onto that in a minute, but I'm just confused as to where reform stands. There's a degree of silence about this issue. Other party leaders have come forward and shown solidarity with President Zelensky.
Hang on, as have I. I stood up in the House of Commons very clearly
Nigel Farage
on Thursday.
We're
all busy with our different diaries, but I was in Parliament, in the Commons on Thursday. I spoke up very robustly for Ukraine, reminding people, I think I'm the only senior political figure that's donated a 5-figure sum, bought a 4x4 pickup, filled it with medical supplies, driven it to Ukraine, given it to frontline soldiers, and stood at the cemetery and seen mums weeping over the graves of their sons. So I'm not taking any nonsense from anybody. We are completely robust.
No, but the point is, with regard to perhaps reform supporters, they seem to be divided over this issue. Some are kind of on the kind of Churchillian wing of the party, aren't they? They're saying, at the end of the day, we've got to stand up for European, let's call it allied interests at all costs. Putin's the aggressor. You know, they don't... And then other people are very Trumpian about it.
We've always said Putin is the aggressor. There's no ifs or buts or doubts about that. Absolutely clear.
No, the issue is... What was Trump and J.D. Vance playing at on Friday? What's your interpretation?
As I've just said, you want to have these negotiations behind closed doors. Everybody's got the same objective, a lasting peace. Of that, I've no doubt at all. But let's remind people that it was reform, only reform, in the general election that had 2.5% GDP defence spending in 3 years and 3% in 6 years. So we know better than any other party, and we put it there, that you get peace through strength. And the best way to guarantee peace is prepare for war.
So you're really happy with Keir Starmer this week, then?
I congratulated him in the chamber. I said he's done the right thing. He's copied the Reform Manifesto on this.
And the cut to foreign aid.
And the cut to foreign aid in order to pay for it. So he's listening and learning from Reform, and that's a good thing.
But why is there reluctance from at least Reform's leader, Nigel Farage,
there's no reluctance
to show solidarity with President Zelensky?
There's no reluctance at all.
Is it because of his relationship with President Trump? Let's be honest, that's a suspicion.
At the end of the day,
fine.
What's important is not to criticise leaders who are doing a very difficult job trying to get to a lasting peace. With that same aim, it's really tense, it's really difficult. You imagine the tension, the pressure on President Zelensky, the thousands of difficult decisions he has to make. Likewise, there's pressure on President Trump. He's told the American electorate that he's going to get a peace deal, and that's what he's trying to do. We've all got the same aim, and it's how you get a lasting security guarantee. Who pays for it? One lesson we all learn from this is European nations have finally got to step up and pay for defence. We can't freeload.
For this summit to be a success,
Absolutely, that's the key thing.
Does Starmer have to have